Hey, 8th grade. Today you're going to be listening to me talk about the structure of this paragraph that you're going to be writing. There are a couple of new pieces, so that's why I want to make sure to go over these new pieces and kind of review just all in general. The first new piece is the background on the topic, and the second new piece is the commentary, part 2. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to break down each part. As I do this, I do want you to take notes on the worksheet that you were given. So make sure you have a writing utensil and that you're taking the notes on that worksheet. Okay, so you are in the notes and drafting phase. Remember, again, take notes. When you're done with this, follow these steps to make sure that your doc is totally ready, even just using the header, the font choices and size, and that your piece is double spaced. Make sure to print this for class on Monday. Okay, so the structure of this paragraph is the following. It has a topic sentence, like all good expository paragraphs, background on the topic, evidence, commentary part 1, commentary part 2, and a concluding sentence. We know that topic sentences are important because they're first and they state what your paragraph is going to be about. So it introduces the topic and the main idea. And to review, there are 4 steps we take when we're creating a topic sentence. First, we read the prompt. And remember, the word prompt is a fancy word for assignment. 2, we identify the topic. 3, determine the main idea. And 4, state the topic plus the main idea in a complete sentence. So if you look back at your paper and you turn it over to the front side gives you the prompt. If we read the prompt and we identify the topic, we can get an idea of what our topic sentence should include in it. So it says, in a well-developed paragraph, explain what it means to be a real-life hero. That's kind of the most important sentence for us to use for our topic sentence right now. So our topic in this case is real-life heroes. So that's the topic. Then we need to think about what's the main idea. Well, in this case, our main idea is going to be one of the qualities that Malala shows and how that connects to her being a real-life hero. So you should use the planning that you've done to determine the main idea. What's that specific heroic quality that you'll be discussing? Then make sure to state this in a complete sentence. Moving on to background. Background, in this case, is where we're explaining or defining the topic or main idea a little bit more. So what this is going to look like in your actual paragraph is you're going to explain what the quality, the heroic quality, looks like in real life. So once you've decided, okay, I'm going to talk about how Malala is, insert adjective here. Well, you need to give your audience a little bit of understanding of what does this trait or what does this quality actually look like in real life. So I've given you some sentence starters that you can use as a way to help introduce this topic for your audience. So you can use a sentence starter like, this quality trait means that if someone is blank, that means he or she blanks. To be blank, one shows, one does, one acts like. So again, it's just giving your audience more background or more information about what that heroic quality looks like. The third part of your paragraph is going to be your evidence. And our evidence is where we're actually connecting to Malala's life. So the evidence is the facts or the info from the text that relate to the main idea. So in other words, this is where we pull in what we've learned about Malala. And there are a bunch of shoulds that I've listed for you. Your evidence, and you should use, again, the planning that you've already done. It should relate to Malala's actions, so what she's already done, specifically in relation to the challenges she's faced. It should explain how she's overcome this challenge. It should, and the reason I'm saying it should be more than one sentence is because it should be detailed. It shouldn't be, well, she got hurt and didn't give up. Explain what you know. Okay? It should be summarized because you do not have a text physically in front of you that say what she did or her physical actions. And it should include a citation. So after you're done typing up your evidence, so let's pretend this is your evidence, blah, 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 blah. You're almost done with your last sentence that describes what she did and how she overcame challenges. You're going to include the director's last name, which is Guggenheim. Capital G-U-G-G-E-N-H-I, Remember to put the parentheses and then the period. All right. Moving on to commentary part 1. Commentary part 1, we're old hats at. Commentary part 1 is where we are explaining the connection between our evidence and the trait. So in other words, you've said that Malala is, we know that Malala is a hero, or Malala has like this characteristic. She's brave, she's kind, she's blank. We need to make sure that we explain that. So the way we explain that is by kind of referring back to the connection between what she's done and the trait. So this shows Malala is like kind because blah, 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 blah. You could also just start with her name. Malala is blank because blah, 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 blah. Malala's actions reveal her bravery because blank, 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 blank. So the first thing to do is connect the evidence to the trait. Next, so brand new is commentary part 2. And I want you to think back to when you did the illustrations for the captions for, kind of visualizing the Great Depression in the 1930s. We had 2 parts of commentary, and this is very similar. So the purpose of commentary part 2 is to explain why the trait is important to a real-life hero. So now we're connecting it all the way back to our prompt, because our prompt asks us, what's a trait, or like what does it mean to be a real life hero? So it's not asking us to define like Malala and her personality, but it's asking us, we need to explain a little bit more. What about this real life hero? Why does this real life hero need this topic? And there's the prompt. So again, our prompt kind of has us go back to this overall topic, what does it mean to be a real life hero? So we need to connect now the trait to the real life hero. So some sentence starters that you can use are given to you here. True heroes need this trait of being brave because blank. A real life hero must be kind because, let me explain why. Kindness or bravery is essential for a real life hero to have because blank. You'll notice that, like commentary part 1, each one of these sentence starters includes the word because, and that's because you have to explain the connection. And last but not least is the concluding sentence. You'll notice that the image for concluding sentence is a beautiful bow, or at least it's attempting to be. And that's because concluding sentences wrap up the main idea and the topic in a new way. It wraps up your paragraph. I know, I'm full of clever ideas and puns. So remember that a good step is to start with an ending transition. You can see your notes on the body paragraphs. I think it's the blue sheet in your ELA notebook, section 3, for a list of transition words. Then make sure that you restate this main idea and the topic of your paragraph in a new way. So not just a copy and paste, but use strategies to make sure that your ideas are new. All right. Now that you've taken these notes, make sure that you're setting up your Google Doc according to the directions on the sheet, and happy drafting.